A very good day to you. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. It's Thursday, August 8th. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run. The Port Jervis community turned out on National Purple Heart Day yesterday to honor America's Purple Heart recipients and personally thank local recipients and families for their sacrifices. VFW Post 161 Commander Colin Tunney spoke of the history and meaning of Purple Heart and thanked the holders of the medals and their families, and made special mention of one late Vietnam Purple Heart hometown hero who never received the medals he earned. Tunney, himself a veteran of foreign war, shared how Floyd Frank Bell of Port Jervis had followed his World War II father's call to duty by enlisting in the Army at 17. After joining in 1966, Bell had been swiftly sent to Southeast Asia as an infantryman. He was severely wounded in hostile action in Vietnam on June 22, 1967. Initially comatose, he was treated in the field, then underwent surgery in Vietnam, Japan, and eventually in the United States. He was left with lifelong disabilities. He was sent back to active duty with orders to avoid actions that could further damage his head. He was scheduled to undergo surgery on his skull at a later time. Bell's records state he was lost by the Army after being wounded, even though his DD-214 lists multiple medals earned during his wartime service, including the Purple Heart. He was discharged as other than honorable due to discrepancies left in his Army files. Bell agonized deeply over his discharge status and sent heart-wrenching letters seeking help to have it corrected. Wounded both physically and emotionally, he became a homeless veteran. His whereabouts were unknown even to his family until being notified that he'd been tragically killed in an accident in the state of Florida in 2000. Bell's younger sister, Barbara, received her brother's replacement medals on Wednesday evening.
He had a hard time coming home, but he disappeared. Nobody saw him. And then we get the bad news. So for all those years, we never knew. So I felt like he just sort of wandered into the fog and was forgotten about. And it means a lot to me and what family I have left. So I want to thank all of you. And God bless all of you.
Bell's sister was also presented with a certificate listing him in the Purple Heart Hall of Honor and a flag flown over the U.S. Capitol presented by Congressman Pat Ryan's office. The water treatment plant in Monticello needs to be torn down and replaced with a new modern facility. The aging infrastructure and pumps have a hard time keeping up. Supervisor Chuck Brodowski says they have 2 pumps, and if they go down, there's no water for the village. Constant maintenance has been performed to keep the 1.8 million gallons per day supply going because parts are hard to come by, he said. Congressman Mark Molinaro came to the shores of Kiamisha Lake yesterday to announce he'd secured $2 million that will go toward the cost of a $22 million water treatment plant.
I know in New York how critical infrastructure spending really is. And making investments in water and sewer in particular not only provide for enhancements to public health, but in a lot of ways direct economic development and support economic growth.
Thompson Supervisor Bill Reber summed it up, saying he can't stress enough how important this addition to the water district is going to be for the village and a lot of town taxpayers as well. More news right after this.
Find over 100 retailers allowing you to spend hours shopping safely at the Galleria at Crystal Run. Enjoy the big brands and the diverse selection of family-owned stores all in one location. The Galleria at Crystal Run offers dining options for everyone with Fuji 110 Grill, Allen's Mediterranean Grill, and Peru Cuisine. Discover the Mid-Hudson Valley's premier shopping, dining, and entertainment destination, the Galleria at Crystal Run. For more information, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or visit GalleriaCrystalRun.com.
A 42-year-old Dingman Township, Pennsylvania man has been arrested following a 3-month investigation in 2 states. Elvius Bochard was charged following a search warrant of his residence with possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance and criminal use of a communication facility, both as felonies. Police seized 17 grams of crack cocaine mixed with fentanyl, 3 digital scales, packaging materials, and $48,000 in cash. The investigation took place in both Pike and Orange County. In Port Jervis, he was charged with criminal possession of a controlled substance. One individual was taken into custody following a standoff at a house on Linden Drive in the Colden Park area of the town of Newburgh Wednesday evening. It all started when a person called 911 to say he was not coming out of his home. The Orange County Sheriff's Office entry team responded, along with Newburgh Town Police and State Police. Negotiations were started. The subject of the standoff eventually did come out of the house and was taken into custody. What precipitated the incident was not immediately known. 4 people were injured when a commercial van flipped over in the area of 286 Seven Springs Mountain Road. The accident occurred before 9 a.m. on Wednesday in the town of Monroe. State police investigated the incident, and area EMTs responded to care for the injured. The cause of the accident and condition of those hurt were not immediately known. Orange and Rockland is making preparations to ramp up a company-wide utility response mobilization to make repairs and restore electric service as needed when the last of Tropical Storm Debbie, packing strong winds and heavy downpours, races through the region Friday through Saturday. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run.